What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from GuitarJams.com. Hope you're doing great out there. Going to bring you a really cool acoustic tune for you today. One, you can play it with super easy chords. If you're a beginner, you can play this song, and I recommend this as a good song for you to get going as a beginner. But also, if you're more advanced, I'm going to show you some cool embellishments and some tricks that go along right with those easy chords. All right, so first, it's pretty much 3 chords the entire time. So we're going to start with that D chord, like so. Then we're going to play a C add 9, which is middle finger comes off to the 3rd fret of the A string right there. So it looks like kind of like a G chord, but these are scooted back. So that's 3rd fret, 2nd fret. That ring finger's still on the 3rd fret from that D chord. And then you can add your pinky to the 3rd fret of the high E there. So you got C add 9, then these 2 fingers scoot up, and now we have a G chord. Back to D. Oh yeah. Check it out. Ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B. It's there the whole time. All that stuff I just did comes from the concept of a D chord, a C add 9, and a G. And I'm going to show you some of that. But anyway, let's get a little rhythm going. Down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up.
Up, up, down, down, up, down, up.
So notice it starts on D. On D, starts over again on D. Okay, so that will get you going for the whole song. But let's look at some of the things that are happening. The first thing I will say is that C add 9. Especially on that very first time, basically my index finger is not on the chord. What do you do with that D string? Well, it's being muted by my middle finger. Then my ring finger still, though, is on that same spot as the D chord. And there's a little thing that happens on that open E string with the pinky on and off like this. Now watch this. You could hammer on from the open A string to the 3rd fret of the A string right there. Okay, so you've got, I haven't showed you the D yet. We're saving that for a second here. And then on that G chord, I am muting that A string with my middle finger and kind of doing... And then the other thing about it, when my index finger's free, I can hammer on that note from the G chord. I can also hammer on the open D to the 2nd fret. Oh, but the other thing, actually, let me take that back. On the G chord, a really cool trick that's happening in that intro, now that I think about it, is actually not playing this E string. That's getting muted, and you can play the 2nd fret. It's still a G chord, but you'd call it G over B, just because we're not playing the G in the bass anymore. We're playing the B note of that G chord, which is that, in the bass. So check it out. So I was doing this kind of thing. You know, hammering that 2nd fret of the A. And then also, it hammers the 2nd fret of the D, followed by that open G. So on this one, now it might seem weird, you know, there's a lot of open strings there, but this G chord, the notes that fit over that G chord are all the open strings work over that. And then you could outline that G chord and know that you have open and then the fret of that G chord. And then I told you 2nd fret, and then the G, 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B, and actually what you're doing there would be called the G Major Pentatonic scale. Also known as the E minor pentatonic scale, but we're playing it over G, which makes it the G major pentatonic scale, which has to do with the relative major, relative minor. That's all at my site. You can check it out. But anyway, D chord. The other thing about it, and now let's get to the D chord, what I recommend you doing is just sometimes when you're practicing guitar, like the D chord's a classic one, look down, stare down at your right hand, and try some picking of the notes. And it doesn't have to be any pattern. You know, and you might screw up, but experiment. Okay, and let me show you though this little pattern. We're going to do pick the D string, and then the B, G like that. Then the high E. And then back down. Now I'm not doing an exact pattern from the song. And then this one works well. The pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E there. And then I'm just picking back down to the B there. And then the pinky comes off. So watch that. And then I'm just picking down and back up. Followed by. And so when I do that, I'm just picking notes out. I'm not doing it the same way twice, which you purists might not appreciate. And then that, with that pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E there. Then 2nd fret to the A string right there. And then I'm hammering that 2nd fret of the D. Open G plucked right after. Back. Pulled it off. Hammer on the 2nd fret of the A. Open D. And I would I would just tell you to experiment and get little sounds out, because even if you listen to the song, it's all being varied, but it's a lot of this kind of stuff. Pinky added to the 3rd fret of the high E on the D chord. Another good one is taking the middle finger off. You can actually do it on that C add 9 or the G. Now, they're not doing it in the song, but, these are obviously great acoustic techniques for you. All right, there was the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, Beginner Strummer series in the link below this box. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care.